welcome to this quick tutorial video. In this video, I will show you how to connect your GoDaddy domain within the LODGEA management console to launch your website or booking engine under that domain. Once you're logged into the console already, and of course logged into your GoDaddy account where you've got your domains, inside the LODGEA management console, within the settings and configuration section, you'll find a tab called Domain. And in that tab, you can connect various domains to run a site on. For example, I already have this test domain under which I have a very simple booking engine in Euro and in German. And there are several others. You can see I've from a different tutorial, I've connected another domain already. This one is not configured, and you can configure domains here. There are two different types of domains. The test domain, there's something that we provide you, quick test domain, and you can just create that straight away. There's no extensive configuration or anything required to run that. So I'll switch it to English and maybe Australian dollars, imperial system, and then off you go. You have the quick test domain, there it is. And then under that domain, of course, you have a minimal website with no configuration. It's just the default configuration. It's very common to use these test domains to test out things, to test new style sheets, any style changes that you want to apply, maybe testing different languages, how they look like. So that is what the test domains are for. The advantage of the test domains is that any changes that you apply to a test domain is visible almost immediately. While as with the production domains, it may take up to 15, in worst cases 30 minutes to update any changes in the style and design. So if you want to test something out, change logos, change icons, and whatever, highly recommended to do this on the test domain first and check that everything works, and then do the same configuration on a production domain. So in my GoDaddy account, I already have a domain. It's called tlv.travel. And I want to create a new domain. Now let's call it he.tlv.travel. And you see I'm using a subdomain. I'm using the language code for Hebrew here, which is, or let me do the English one first, which works as a subdomain. So each language has its own subdomain. With the connection to GoDaddy, because the domain configuration of LODGEA uses Cnames to point a specific subdomain to the LODGEA system. So you can't do that with the root domain. So I couldn't use tlv.travel because I can't point it to the system afterwards. However, what I can do, of course, if I say that my main domain and I only have one language will be tlv.travel, of course I can use the www subdomain and then use GoDaddy to redirect my main tlv.travel to permanently redirect that to www.tlv.travel. So that's not a problem at all. So let me start with demo video.tlv.travel. Check availability. Now, in order to connect the domain, I need to verify that I'm the owner of the domain, of course, because you can't just connect any domain, and you need to verify that this is your domain. And that verification is a two-step process, because it also afterwards, once this SSL certificate will be created, we'll have that in a second step, but I'll show you and guide you through GoDaddy and how that works in there as well. So I have the demo video.tlv.travel, and the system wants me to create a TXT record. You don't need to know what all of this is. I will guide you through the process now. So jumping into my GoDaddy account, I see I have the TLV.travel product here. And then after opening the product, manage DNS. That should bring me to that directly. Yes. So I went to the product and then onto manage DNS. And now I have all the DNS records for this domain. GoDaddy already has created a couple of records like the www. I could of course change all of these, but I'll just use the demo video.tlv.travel now. So we need a TXT record. The host of the TXT record will be exactly this one here. And the TXT value is what is provided below in the domain verification DNS record value. And then paste that. And the So finally, after a while, the verification has finally completed. And we should be able to connect this domain now. And there we are. There you go, demovideo.tlv.travel. There's nothing under the domain yet, of course, because nothing that I configured, and we're going on to the next step. I think the importance to notice is bringing a little patience and just waiting for all these things, for the DNS servers to propagate, for everything to be changed on GoDaddy's side, to distribute to all the name servers, until then finally it arrives at our service, so we can validate that the domain is there. So give it a little time. Usually it's 15 to 30 minutes, but give it a little patience, get yourself a coffee, and then check back later. There's no need to keep all these windows open. All of these processes work in the background, so you can just step by step go through that. So to be able to issue the SSL certificate, we need to add an additional record. Besides the TXT record that we have, we also need a Cname record. So I will go in here again, put Cname, just copy the bit before the actual tlv.travel domain name, because that's something I think I did wrong initially. But this one is the complete one and points to that. Then of course half an hour would be nice, and save. And finally we also have the Cname for the SSL certificate. Same procedure here, 15 to 20 minutes. You can press the refresh list to check if it's still updating. You see it's still validating and waiting for it to finish. So again, give it 10-15 minutes to complete, and then you can head towards the next step to finalize the domain connection and get your site up and running. So after even more patience and even more waiting for all these DNS magic of the internet to finally do the job, we do have the SSL certificate finally issued. The last bit that is just remaining is the network configuration that is in progress. It's the content delivery network that is being set up so that your website is distributed from the closest location of your end users. So if, for example, your end user is, say, New York, they will be delivered the contents directly from New York. If they're in Tel Aviv or Dubai, they will have the contents delivered directly from a nearby location and don't need to connect all the way up to where you've centrally stored your data in the US or the EU. So you can click refresh list and wait for it to complete. However, you can already, if your domain name is not in final use, it's not already in use, and you just and you need to change it, but you're creating a new one just as I do now, then you can already set this up. So I will now go in, add another Cname record for demo video, which is my final domain, demovideo.tlv.travel. You'll have some description here, so if you want to read it, you can read it as well. And that points to this address. Again, make it half an hour and save. So after the last bit of patience and a little waiting, we finally have the domain available. So we refresh, it's there. And the configuration says deployed. So you can see network is deployed, certificate is issued, and domain is operational. So you can use it now. Also see certificate is issued, everything working, encrypted, no problem. Right language, right currency. Language and currency can all be changed afterwards if needed. So no worries. You've got your working site here now, and can happily make bookings. So that's it. Maybe just to recap the process. So we went in, we clicked on connect a new domain, we entered our domain details, we verified the domain with this text record, we verified the SSL certificate with the Cname record, and we finally configured the domain with another Cname record. Now at the very beginning, we talked about redirecting your primary domain. So if I would want tlv.travel to permanently go to demovideo.tlv.travel, I could go into the forwarding section here at GoDaddy and just say add, and then do demovideo.tlv.travel. And then do a permanent one and only do the forwarding. And that will pretty much, it doesn't have that updated yet. So that will pretty much forward the main domain tlv.travel to demovideo.tlv.travel. So if you say your site only has one domain, or LODGEA will operate as the only system on your site, and you do all your website with it, then you would forward your primary domain to your www, and then of course verify the www domain here. And that's pretty much it. Not a too complicated process. The most complicated part is waiting and being patient and waiting for those things to finish, and give all of these a little time, and then these things work out. If you have any questions or it doesn't work for you, or you can't get it to work, I highly recommend take a look into the documentation. And if you still can't get around connecting your domain, then feel free to drop the support an email, and we'll be happy to look into it. Other than that, thank you for taking the time to go through the GoDaddy connection with me, and I wish you all the best of luck.